It's Missoula's Rock Station, 96.3 The Blaze, and the afternoon incident. My name is Barrett. Thank you so much for hanging out. And as promised, Dan the Man. Dan the infamous man, otherwise known as the Griz Streaker. You've seen him all over the news. How many interviews have you done so far?
This is actually my first.
This is the first interview?
Yeah, I've talked to a few people who work for newspapers and TV stations, but
You talked to the Missoulian?
Yeah, I haven't done any interviews.
This is your first live interview.
Yeah.
Your first chance to get your side of the story out.
Yeah.
So I guess the easiest place to start is what happened?
All right, so it all started about 10 o'clock when
Get your microphone here.
All right.
Get right up on that thing, man.
It
We
all
want
s-
people to hear you.
All right, it all started about 10 o'clock, 10:30. I started drinking pretty heavily. And
Oh, yeah. Were you tailgating?
No, we were just over at our buddy's house, a few blocks away from the stadium. And
Right.
I only think I was there for about 5 minutes of the game before I was on the field.
So you were in your seat for 5 minutes before you went out onto the turf.
Yeah, I don't even remember anybody telling me, like, hey, you should go streaking, but somebody put it in my head. And, then I went up by a bunch of these girls that were in a sorority, and they got the whole crowd into it, and everybody was chanting, Dan the Man, Dan the Man. I just couldn't say no.
Right.
I just couldn't turn them down. There's that many people.
Right. So you're in your seat. People are chanting. The next thing you know, you're on the field, sans clothing.
No, next thing I know, I am on the field, just completely naked, running around with a megaphone.
Where did you get the megaphone from?
It was on the sideline.
Oh, you just grabbed it?
Yeah.
So now you're on the field. What do you remember the reaction from the crowd that was there? Do you remember anything in particular, or is it kind of a blur?
It was just this huge adrenaline rush. I heard the entire student section just start yelling, "Streaker, yeah!" Everybody.
So
was just pumped.
Was it your intention to be streaking when you first got onto the field, or was it a thing like you got onto the field, you're like, you know what? It's a really good idea for me to take my clothes off right now.
No, it was like I had only my boxers on when I went out on the field.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to like jump out there and just get tackled on the sidelines. Just
But
all
then see,
naked,
that's another thing I want to mention is you were out there for a good 30 seconds.
No, I was out there for a good like 3-4 minutes.
Really?
For a while.
The manager is get on the microphone, man.
Yeah,
And now
Stu
you
Blaze
have a
manager.
manager. Well, first of all, why do you have a manager?
Why not? Yeah.
Oh, okay, good point.
Might need one someday.
Right, exactly. So, what's the manager's name?
Stu Blaze.
Stu Blaze.
Yeah.
Stu Blaze, my manager.
Pleasure to meet you. What were you saying about the video?
Oh yeah, he was on there for a while. Just the video that you see on the internet, that's just a little short clip of it. You know?
Oh, so you were out there for a solid few minutes.
Oh yeah. Nobody. Once I was on the field, nobody even paid any attention to me. I felt like, other than the crowd.
So you're just out there, and does it at any point were you thinking like, you know what, I'm really going to get in trouble for this?
No, actually, I didn't put that together until I was in handcuffs, and they had me sat down in the tunnel. They were like, you know you're in trouble for this, right? And I was like, just kind of dawned on me like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
there
no.
are laws and rules.
Yeah.
What was being now? I saw the picture on your Facebook page, and I think this picture has been getting around too, of you with what can only be described as a black trash bag in front of you.
Actually, no, it wasn't wrapped. It wasn't in front of me. It was wrapped around me.
It was a total like encompassing.
Yeah, the campus police just cut 2 holes in the bottom of a trash bag for my legs and then tied it around behind me.
They made you makeshift bag shorts.
Yeah, they had nothing else. And I think they were just a little bit tired of seeing this naked guy.
Right. So basically your story is I barely remember it, but somebody told me to do it somewhere, and I'm going to do this.
Yeah, well, really, it was just a spur of the moment thing. It just happened just like that. Just the whole crowd was chanting my name. You know, I had most of my clothes off by that point, and just here it goes.
Joined by Dan the Man and Stu Blaze. Stu Blaze, Dan the Man's manager. Dan the Man, of course, the streaker at the Griz Cal Poly game on Saturday. What's been the feedback that you've gotten from your peers or from the general public?
I have never gotten so many high fives in a weekend.
Really?
There's one video on YouTube. It's like the date, the name of the game, and then it says AKA the hero streaker.
So you've gotten a lot of love for this.
Oh yeah, definitely. I haven't met anyone just randomly that's been like, "Oh, you dirty streaker, you."
Any comments online that you've read?
I've only seen a few blogs, but yeah, there's some negative feedback. I was immediately remorseful when the cops had me handcuffed, and
Handcuffs will do that.
yeah, well, no, it wasn't even that. It was a parent came up and he was like, "I am pressing charges against this mother effer."
Really?
Yeah, he's like, "My kid was here, like scarred for life. They didn't want to see that." And I never even like, I was so drunk, I didn't even think of like, there's alumni, there's parents, there's kids here. You know, I was
Right.
just focused on the college student section.
Did you come out? I was going to ask, did you come out of the student section?
Yeah, I ran right down the stairs and popped over.
That makes sense. And the student section was just all about it.
Oh yeah, they were loving it.
So what's next, man? What's the so you went to court when? This morning?
This morning, I haven't entered a plea yet. I'm gonna get some legal advice from my public defender.
Right.
And I still haven't met with anyone from campus, so I don't know what my standing is there.
So you don't know about your future with the university?
No, it's just kind of a bummer because I really want to stay here. I really hope I don't get expelled. Like, that would
Right.
ruin my future. And like, it was just such like a stupid thing to get expelled for, you know? Like, I obviously wasn't thinking. Obviously, I'm not going to do it again.
Right.
I wouldn't suggest anybody tries to do it again because, one, you look like an idiot, and two, you can't get away.
Well, and you know, I wanted to bring you on because for me, you know, I went to college, and you're not the first streaker. I mean, you know, you didn't set the trend here, and to be expelled for something like that, I saw some of the reactions in the video, and they were pretty, I want to say, positive.
Yeah.
You know, I want to say that people were like, "Yeah, Dan," you know, it really wasn't something that was like, "Well, I never," you know.
Yeah.
It really, you have my support, at least.
Thank you.
I'm not sure. I actually brought up the fact that I was going to talk to you, to some other people in the building, and most of them were like, "Oh, that's cool. That's such a cool interview." And there were others who were like, "That bastard, that guy. There were kids there." And it's like you said, you know, with the parents and all that.
And again, I wasn't even thinking about that. Parents, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scar your children for life, but you know, they'll go to college one day, and I'm sure they'll understand.
Have you gotten any feedback for your stuff?
Yeah, I went to a party and somebody just came up to me and was like, "Hey man, nice balls."
Is that the first time you've heard that at a party?
Yeah, actually. Just randomly from somebody I didn't even know. It was just randomly like, "Hey, thanks."
Dan the man, the Griz streaker. Do you have a website or a Facebook page to plug?
We are currently in the process of making a
Of course
fan
you are.
page. Dan the Streakin' Man.
Okay. Are you on Twitter?
I am currently. That's my name on Twitter as well, Dan the Streakin' Man.
All right. Well, Dan, I appreciate you coming in, man.
Thanks for
Really,
having me.
you know, it's funny because I don't think it's something I could ever do, but under your circumstances, under the influence of a few drinks, I could probably do that.
Yeah.
Dan, the man, thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it. And of course, this will be on the website 963theblaze.com at some point tonight. Dan, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Woo! Having me.